Hey, Apple Biters and Appletinis, this is Les, aka Sister Slayer, here for the Bitten Apple TV in conjunction with It Came From the Radio. And we have such a busy weekend this week. I mean, right now we're up before everybody, and guess where we are? The New Jersey Comic Expo. Oh my gosh, we have so much to show you. I can't even begin to tell you. We've got some really exclusive interviews with some really amazing people, some independent artists, some that you already know, and we can't wait to show it all to you. So before we go into the door today, I just want to let you know, be prepared. I can't wait. Take care. We'll see you inside. Hey, Apple Biters, Appletinis, and Apple lovers. This is Les, aka Sister Slayer, here again at the New Jersey Comic Expo, and I'm in conjunction with It Came From the Radio. I'm sitting here with Mr. Frank DeStefano, who is the writer of the Dark Legend, the Foreigner series. I thought this was a very interesting concept. I immediately just gravitated to this book. But just tell me about the character that's here. Tell me his name, what he does, why he was, where you came up with the concept of it, and everything.
Oh boy, this is going to be a long one. But anyway, I actually used to work at hotels, and I used to come home and I turned on 8 Heads in the Duffel Bag, which had to be the god-awfulest, worst movie I've ever seen, even though if it was a mafia movie. And from that came this. Go figure, from a mafia movie to a Japanese horror thing. But his name is the Master, and it takes place 400 years ago, feudal Japan, and his mother and father were the Lees, and they were part of a big shogun army, and the shoguns wanted them to kind of help them to go from village to village to kind of take over, and they didn't really want to be a part of that, so they slaughtered an entire army. The mother was pregnant with what was to be the Master, so they went up into the Ohika Mountains and raised their child for 20 years. In doing so, they wanted to kind of give the Master some type of immortality. So they went to their god named Orthor, and they asked him for a 5 Scrolls of Terror, which would give him immortality, being that he is a weapon already, you know, in his martial art training and everything like that. So when the Lees were of age, you know, the son was 20, they went down the mountains, and there was an ancient wizard that put a hit on the mother and father, and when they came down, they got slaughtered by an entire army. So when he came down, you know, maybe a few weeks later, he saw his mother and father hanging from trees with body parts. Not exactly something you really want to see. So he got enraged, and he pretty much, you know, slaughtered about 50 shoguns going to the edge of the town, and there was the wizard where he confronted. He tried killing through a sword before the wizard could actually finish the cast, and that froze him for 400 years.
So you came up with this concept of it. You had to do a lot of research about Japanese feudal times and everything. Was it that you had a love for historical Japanese characters or anything like that? What was it? What made you really just go from a mafia movie to Japan, feudal Japan?
You know, I really can't answer that.
It was meant to be.
No, you know what it was? Back in the day, I was big with Jean-Claude Van Damme and Steven Seagal. So I love Steven Seagal, and you know, I guess if I would put that together, I used to watch those movies, you know, so I was intrigued, but I mean, that's probably the best and closest thing I could come up with. But the idea is just, when I tell people, it's so one-sided, you know? One has nothing to do with the other, and coming up with that idea, and I'm like, there's got to be something better that people could write or come up with, you know? And I came up with that. It was originally called The Foreigner, but there was a music band called The Foreigner, and there was a direct-to-video Steven Seagal movie called The Foreigner. So I'm like, you know what? That doesn't really catch me. What makes him so dark? The Dark Legend. And to me, The Foreigner doesn't really attract people. What's so dark about the legend? What do people want to know? Why is the legend so dark? And that's where I came up with it, you know?
I think you're going to have a lot of, you have a lot of history to them, because Japanese history is very rich and it's foreign to us as Americans and stuff. There's so much that you can pull from. He was like, this character right here, actually, how did he become this like skeleton figure right here? And I also noticed that some of his foes look very demonic, you know. What is it about this character that, you know, why did he look like this? Why is he fighting these demons? He's an anti-hero. Yeah,
well, in the first one, he's really a bad guy, and, you know, breaking out and then just going haywire. But in the second one, he meets a guy named Glenn, and he really tries to make him discover who he is, because he's been frozen for 400 years. You know, he's been locked in solitude, you know, so he doesn't know who he is and doesn't know who he should be. So he kind of tries to feel him out and understand him, and he goes from being the bad guy to essentially being the good guy. So he does almost a 360-degree angle flip-flop, which in most stories you get one bad guy, and that's the guy that carries through, and it flip-flops, and there's a lot of events that happen and change in his life that he realizes.
I think that that's what people want to see. They want to see a character that grows. I mean, you want to see a character that for some reason has some major transition, something that changes that person, and that he's always walking on the edge, that there's always that moment where he could flip at any moment. And I think that that really grasps people as readers. I really love the art of the book. I can't wait to delve into this character in particular. Let me tell us where we can find out more about you, where we can order the book, when you're coming out with your next book. I'm excited about this. I
have about 2 manuscripts that are sitting on my computer already, so I want to promote these and get the word out about this first before I actually start. But I have the artist that I want to give heads up is Vanessa. Of course, I probably can't pronounce it. Garvaka, if I'm pronouncing that. Yeah. She's on my Facebook page, and I happen to find her because I'm an independent author, and then I connect with other independent authors, and her name came up, and I have to give a shout out to her. You know, she's in Bulgaria, not in this country, but
that explains why it looks this good.
But she did an amazing job. She did it so quick, and even I have her on my Facebook page, so her name's on the back of the book for the illustrations. And I mean, she's done wonders. I've yet to talk to her ever because it's a big 8-hour, 9-hour time difference, but she's done wonderful work with these books, and I told her no matter who I go to, whatever publisher, whatever, I'm going to give her the business because she did. I'm just, without her, I believe books sell covers now. It's not like the material in it. It has a part to do with it, but the cover is the one that is always going to draw people in, and you know.
It absolutely drew me in. It absolutely drew me in. So now where can we find you?
You can find me on Facebook. That's not a pen name, it's my real name. I'm on Facebook, I'm all over that. You know, I'm on Twitter as well. Not as much though, but the books are on Amazon and probably Barnes & Nobles, and the publishing company that I went with was Life Rich Publishing, which they're an entity through, well now it's gonna, Reader's Digest. So that's who's really promoted and helped me. You know, they have it on their website, Barnes & Nobles and Amazon, which are obviously the 3 big ones right now. So, you know, hopefully I get it in Barnes & Nobles, which would be a great attitude for me.
One of the things too, Frank, that I really love about it is that you brought your son here today to support you. So how's this been for you today, being here at this expo?
Good.
And what's your name?
Jake.
So Jake has been here supporting his dad all day today. I mean, Jake, he has himself together. He's got his superheroes here today. One of the superheroes is, you know, Tony Stark. We were talking about this. But he is entertaining himself, but he's out here supporting his dad, and we have to really appreciate that. You proud of your dad writing these books?
Yes.
Is it something you want to do one day?
Maybe.
What do you want to do one day, Jake?
Be cheese master.
Okay. Hey, he's talking about top level stuff. All right. Thank you so much. Apple Biters, you got to check out this book. This book looks great. I can't wait to review the book because I'm going to do a review on it. I'm actually going to read this book. Yeah. So go out there for support Frank DeStefano, any of our independent artists out there. You know, these people work hard. They come up with great and unique ideas. Go out there and do that. See you later.